Well, everyone, if you want to know what's the most terrifying thing for a publisher, it's right here. So this is my mass production copy of the Characters expansion. And this mass production copy is terrifying because there are 15,000 of these that have been produced. We look at the mass production copy for the purposes of assembly, approving the assembly, because right now the parts are all stacked in the climatized room, getting ready to be assembled. And if there's a bad component, or if I messed up, there's not a whole ton of things you can do. I'm sure you've all been involved in projects where somebody had to reprint a deck of cards for all, whatever, 10,000, because when they got to the mass production copy, lo and behold, there was an error. So there's an added bit of spice to this terror, and that is that in order to squeeze in the cooperative version of Obsession, I did not look at final printed components of some of the cooperative components, because that was going to add 2, 3, 4 weeks. Those things just snowball. And so I'm going to have to trust that I was thorough. I've got you off to the side here. This is my new table I got in my new office. This is just a beautiful table. Although I do have a seam right here that's going to get fixed. That was a mistake of the application of the felt. I wasn't sure about blue or not, and I'm still not entirely positive. I like it. I decided not to go for a pattern because I think you lose components sometimes in it, but I might do like a burgundy. I don't know. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. I'm avoiding applying this blade to this box because I am terrified. I will also show you the coins, which have been done for some time. I will show you what that looks like. But this is not CGI. This is the real deal. And obviously you trust me with knives since I hacked into my finger, not with this knife in the kitchen. You're probably very worried how I'm going to do this. Oh man, I'm terrified. There it is. Pull it out. And here we go. So I'll get that off the table. There it is in shrink. I'm going to come over here and look. So this is it in shrink. Funny story, I just put Dan Halligan down at the bottom. I never knew when I first made Obsession what you're supposed to put as far as your name on it. And so I put a Dan Halligan board game, and the Shut Up and Sit Down guys had a huge belly laugh at my expense because of the hubris of doing a Dan Halligan board game on a first game. So box looks good. It's centered. We love that piece of artwork. That is the Dowager Marchioness's castle, if you will. And that is done by Janik Lipinski, who is doing art for Sneak Peek. There's a game down there under development. It's actually been under development for a while, but I dropped everything to get characters out because I felt it was necessary. And we look on the back, and I'm going to be looking at all the fine details, but as I look at it right now, it looks pretty darn good. Okay. All right, we're done. I'm not going to open it up. One thing to note, Panda did a great job because there was significant lid lift when I added the cooperative version, which is an extra board and an extra rule book. And on the fly, they lowered that insert in order to make that lid lift look beautiful like it is. And so I'm thrilled with that. And I'm not going to use a knife on this. I think I got a fingernail that can get it done. Maybe not. Very careful. Very careful. Although this copy will not be used because it's not climatized. And if you don't go through the climatization process, boards are going to warp. Got a nice linen finish on the box. Still very nervous. Here we go. Let me face this towards you. You don't want to look at everything on the angle. Put that trash over there. And voila! Make you stand up there. That's pretty good. And what do we have out first? We have our main rule book. I want to give credit and a shout out to Jeff Frazier. As you all know, who've looked at my rule books in the past, I'm a creative writer. I'm not a technical writer. Jeff brought his technical writing skills, and I'm very excited. Look, the first thing I'm looking is, are all the pages in the right order? I mean, obviously they got to be in the right order, but you know, terror, people, terror. So that is the Obsession Characters expansion rulebook for all the modules. Then we have our variant catalog. But you love my steampunk cat, not AI art. I stumbled and made a mistake with some accidental AI art briefly before I eradicated it. Oh, that looks good. Page numbers. Page numbers are in order. Those will be combed through, but there's not a lot I can do. But if I found like a missing page, if I found a missing page, I would have a missing 4 pages, because rule books always come in multiples of 4 because it's a folded sheet with a front and back, front and back. So we're looking good. And then we have our cooperative rule book. This, I'm so excited for people to get their hands on this. This looks great. I see all the pages are there. All right, we got all the pages. Here is our player aid. It's a good, thick, heavy. I know some of you were probably thinking that you wish you had a card for every box. I think I'm hitting the max on the number of player aid cards, which are now 6 that I'm going to fit into the box. But this looks beautiful. And on the back, you're going to see the new flow chart. I got these little flow charts now, and I wanted a master flow chart on the back that can sit out on the table that anybody can grab and take a look at. And I love the look of that. Looks good. We have tiles. Yes, we do. This, a lot of you will have. Some of you will not. Those of you who do not have this, because these were first presented in the useful box and later presented in the 2023 and 2024 printings of Upstairs, Downstairs, I have to make sure everybody gets a crack at these. You got to have a business room, which, by the way, we use in our cooperative mode. And you got to have this alternate West Terrace, which allows you to dismiss. And then Tony Boydell of Snowdonia fame has done a beautiful job with a tile that I'm fascinated by, and I can't wait to play with it. I mean, I've played with a prototype. But you know, you like to have the real look. And this is also used in one aspect of the cooperative game. Beautiful. Those punch out like butter. Is, I'll tell you what, Panda, if there was like an Olympic event for smooth punch outs from a punch board, I think Panda would be a gold medal candidate. And here is your cooperative player board. On the back, by Janik Lipinski. Now, there's no horror in the cooperative. This is just, and I just had to have some fun. So I had a concept, and Janik had the ability to translate it into something fun. You can see Snade, the guy you're going against, is on the front porch, and there's the player board. That thing is beautiful. I'm excited. I was worried about this. This is the thing. I never saw a physical copy of this. Never did. And I absolutely love it. So your AI is built into here. There's an additional AI that is called the impropriety AI dice. And basically, you're dealing with a guy who's socially clumsy, a family that's socially clumsy. So they do things like overspend, embarrass themselves, commit scandals, corruption, disgrace, bribery. You're gonna love that. So that's cooperative. That's cooperative right there. So that's what got added for your, might not even be a month delay. It might be only a couple weeks delay. This here is your sideboard for the characters expansion. That's beautiful. Now this is really going to make me nervous. I'm going to set you down, and I'm going to go get, live, no fudging, I'm going to go get a brand new supply board or central board, and we're going to see how it lines up. I'll be back. I'm back. I went to my parts room and I got a fresh supply board. So I'm going to set this out. You're going to be on a bit of an angle. So let me straighten you a bit. Let me zoom you in here. And here is our plan. Oh, baby. Baby. Really good. You got to realize that the amount of, I think it's called drift, but the amount of drift you can get on an image can make lining up like this cloud and this hill and this little berm here really difficult. So I'm thrilled with that. That's your new supply board for the characters expansion. That's great to see. Let's come back here. I'll push this up, push that up. Let's come back right. I'm going to slide you over. Let's see. I'm going to go here. That's better. I love this box. That is just a beautiful box. You do realize that this box is intended to store everything in this character's expansion in your big box. That's going to go with the player boards, right? So is that. Some people, I think, will keep maybe the cooperative mode. Let me flash out here. The cooperative mode in that box. It might be a separate thing. Some people may not play cooperative. But if you want to keep it all together, that Snade board and that sideboard go right in that Wessex box if you're using it, or that useful box, or just the stack in the big box. And so they're out of the way. Those tiles, I showed in a video how those tiles can find a home. So those will fit. And for most of these cards, they're either going in the family boxes or they're going into the Gentry deck, and there's room for those there. This is a new universal objective card deck, which will eliminate 2 decks and actually be a smaller storage solution for just objective cards. And then my babies, oh my babies. This is a impropriety dice, blood red, because when our family Snade rolls this, you know, it's usually blood is on the lawn. And that goes with the purple dice, which does the market selection. So you got that dice. Again, that could be stored separately as cooperative. And this box can hold these meeples. If you want to keep those separate, it can hold a couple of other things. For example, if you wanted to fit extra tiles in there, because if you get every tile in the book, including the promos, and you start sleeving those bad boys, you could maybe use this to help you fit it all in the main box. But isn't that a beautiful box? Love it. That looks great. That's empty. Oh, look. Back to our impropriety dice. And let me flash in here. I'm gonna get up close personal. This is a lot of effort. I did most of this in my garage while I was trying to move and prep my house to move. So what we're seeing here, these 3 markers, which are blood red as well, are for marking the scandals. So when your impropriety dice rolls a 6 and you have a scandal, you have these stored up top here, and you get to choose. You get to choose which scandal breaks out. Could be if you wanted to reduce their money. Could be if you wanted a story to break about disgraceful conduct, or corruption, which involves the reverend, which I'm not going to get into here. But you choose, and then once you get all 3 full, they clear, and then you start choosing again. So if you get a ton of 6s rolled, you're going to have to use a distribution of the scandals, and then you're going to have one 6, which generates nothing at all but a clearing, which helps moderate the impact of a distribution of too many 6s when you're playing the cooperative version. I'm so psyched. Okay, put that over there. Take a look at our new. Whoop, I'm off screen. These are our new second chance footmen. Aren't those guys great? There's the Reverend. Love the Reverend. Let's see who else we got. We got the scandalous ladies' maids without reference. And we have the constable. The constable is responsible. And there it is, people. I know there's a big fight on this, but you have to admit, that is spectacular. Look at that. That is spectacular. When that thing's on that board, pop out, pop in. Beautiful. Love the metallic gold. And then my favorite second chance meeple is my soused footman. So those are there. And then we're down, and I tell you what, the terror is receding. We got the right counts, we got the right colors, we got the right lack of drift. We've got this stuff looking great. I'm so excited. And you know what? I think this is going too long. I'm not going to dive into all these, but here you get your distinguished family members in this deck. What the hell? What the hell? Might as well do this. You guys can always turn me off, as you probably do, far quicker than I would expect. So what do we got here? Let's just do a quick surf. Get a little focus on there. You got a pony and trap tile player aid, so that you can, this is just one. I can't do 6 of everything for a promo. So that's the pony and trap. Then we have second chance servants. I found a mistake. Wait, no, look, I thought I found a mistake that there weren't 6 of these. So this here is the second chance servants, and I've done 6 of these, 1 for each family box. Sorry, an alarm went off and that shut off the video, so there's a second video here. Actually, I'll upload them and combine them. So there you got a card for the second chance servants. Then you have your distinguished family members right here, all with special powers. I love these. I love these. I love these. And then you get into the new Charles. Am I focused here? I'm like so frazzled. Put on my glasses. I think I'm focused. You got the new Charles for all you people whining about my old Charles, who I like just fine. Oh, more distinguished family members. Then we have just a ton of new gentry with new favors. You got all these new gentry, all these new types, new styles. You got a whole bunch of new prestige guests that force you to invite casual guests, because you guys whine too much about casual guests. I'm going to make you have more of them. And then we have our Snade cards. Look at these. This is your Snade family. There's the lovely Oliver, who is trying to pitch woo with Elizabeth Fairchild. Well, we got some more. Look at these. More. Then we got more. These are more for the co-op version. These are relatives. Love it. That goes over there. And then you got a whole ton of new solo cards. Solo people, you're on my radar. Those things are beautiful. Wow. I'm not going to dive into this deck. But this deck is beautiful. You can see right there, that's a card that's used in co-op and in regular. But that tells you there you're going to use that in co-op. That's going to be a Snade objective. You know, I'm not a drinker, but I think I might raid my wife's liquor cabinet and have myself a scotch.